8 states are in the process of planning their Canadian importation plans, but New Mexico just beat everybody and published a draft of the plan they will send to HHS on December 15th. We analyzed what this plan will mean for the pharmacists and pharmacies of New Mexico, but because it's based on federal regs, this is applicable to pharmacists in any state where their state wants to do Canadian drug importation. Under the New Mexico plan, imported Canadian medicines have a different national drug code number and slightly different labeling as well as different pricing, so you'll be double stocking product. If you have segregated inventory for 340B programs, you'll be triple stocking. Everybody loves that, right? Many pharmacies have wholesaler contracts that require you to buy, say, 90% of your medicines from a single wholesaler to get the best pricing and meet your contract. But these medicines from Canada aren't likely to come from your contracted wholesaler. In fact, none of the 3 major wholesalers has agreed to participate in this, which means that if you buy these medications in your pharmacy, that's going to push you towards non-compliance with your current wholesaler's contract. It does not matter whether a medicine comes from Canada or the US supply chain. A pharmacist has to take the same amount of time to accurately dispense it and consult with the patient. The New Mexico plan does not guarantee a dispensing fee to pharmacists. A 2020 study says that dispensing fees for non-specialty drugs should be about $12.45. But pharmacists aren't even getting paid that now. And the New Mexico drug importation plan doesn't carry any kind of guarantee of a dispensing fee at all. In fact, it's likely to make pharmacists worse off financially by creating downward price pressure. Every pharmacist I know puts patient safety ahead of their own financial gain, but pharmacists can't help patients if they're out of business. Medicines made for the US market get a unique serial number when they're manufactured, and that number is tracked by everyone that handles it from the factory floor on. That allows for no holes in safety. But Canada doesn't have a track and trace system. The New Mexico plan says they'll get a barcode put on medicine when it's brought to the US. That means we will have to just trust that nobody before that step did anything wrong. Thing is, we have track and trace partially because Americans got fake cancer medication from licensed Canadian vendors in the years before track and trace was created. The DOJ prosecuted them for it, which leads me to my next point. There is nothing in the New Mexico plan that absolves pharmacists or pharmacies from liability for dispensing counterfeits from this program. We know from previous lawsuits that when a pharmacy dispenses a counterfeit, even if they bought it from a licensed wholesaler, they're in for an expensive legal adventure. And if their insurance doesn't cover their bills, that is a bankruptcy event. No insurance company has yet stated that they will cover pharmacies or pharmacists if they participate and dispense these Canadian imported medications. If you're worried that PBMs might inflate the cost of medicine in these programs, you're probably right to be worried. There's nothing in the New Mexico program that limits the health insurance companies, hospitals, or PBMs from marking up these medications, making a bunch of money, and leaving patients and pharmacists in the lurch. Again. If you're a savvy enough healthcare professional to recognize PBM spread pricing as part of the problem of the cost of medications, then you recognize that this plan is going to fail unless it controls the middlemen like PBMs, health insurance companies, and hospitals. Today, this plan does not do that. Things like medical adverse events and recalls are critical parts of our safety system that are overseen by the FDA. But no more. Now New Mexico is going to have to run their own mini FDA and handle recalls and medical adverse event reporting themselves. Before you report a medical adverse event, you have to first figure out if the medicine in question is imported from Canada or not, and then report it to the right agency. And what if handling these medical adverse event reports would make the state's program look bad and get it shut down by the feds? Will the state actually take the event seriously, or will they bury the report? I don't think the same people cheerleading this program should also be the ones monitoring its safety. That is a conflict of interest that could get people killed. Because Medicaid gets such good prices on their medicine, and because you can't get rebates on imported Canadian medicine, these medicines will not be used in New Mexico's Medicaid program. 1 in 3 New Mexico residents is enrolled in Medicaid and won't see benefit from this program. It's likely that 340B programs won't use these medicines either for the same reason. Are you wondering how New Mexico's plan is budgeting testing? Well, the application they want to send to HHS doesn't actually name a vendor, a testing lab, or, quote, actual pricing or testing levels of confidence and reliability. This is disturbing because testing is the only way we're going to know if we have counterfeits because they don't possess legal authority to inspect Canadian facilities they're buying from. And we asked an economist to model the costs of testing, and she says it would be so expensive it would eliminate all the savings. If you think New Mexico, which is facing a $1 trillion budget shortfall in 2022, is going to shortcut the testing step to save money and make this program work, you're probably right. And who will be left holding the bag when counterfeits slip through from insufficient testing? It'll be pharmacists, the last licensed professional to touch the medicine before the patient received it. The most disappointing thing we saw in this document was the commitment by the state to publicize the names of pharmacies that don't participate in this program, but tell consumers to avoid them. We had to read it twice, but here are the exact words they wrote. Do New Mexico's officials not understand that pharmacies are fighting for their financial survival? That pharmacists are going to work every day exposing themselves to COVID-19 while dutifully taking care of patients? And we're thanking them for taking that risk by threatening them to participate in this program or else? This is the wrong way to treat pharmacists. Here's what's crazy. In the middle of a pandemic, when New Mexico is struggling to keep the coronavirus from swamping hospitals, the state has decided to dedicate staff from the Department of Health, the Office of the Superintendent of Insurance, the Human and General Services Department, and the Board of Pharmacy to develop this plan. During a once-a-century pandemic, don't they have other priorities than this? Didn't New Mexico just set a record this week for COVID cases and hospitalizations? Why is New Mexico starting up a program that isn't likely to work with high startup costs now?